I am Mason Stowell, and this is an analysis of Love Medicine by Louise Erdrich, or more specifically, an analysis of three of the cars within this novel. These three cars were chosen because they resemble and represent certain people throughout the novel. There are other cars that do as well, but these three are the best at it. The first one is Albertine's Mustang. The second is the red convertible owned by Henry. And the last is the Firebird. Albertine's Mustang is first referred to on page 11, where it says that it was the first car she owned, and it's also the car she drove up to the reservation post June's death. According to dictionary.com, Mustang originates from the 1800s from a Spanish word that meant stray or ownerless beast. Oh, excuse me. And was later used to describe a type of horse that was found in North America. Now, Albertine, when she left home on page 163, she was only 15 years old, so she was rather small, young, early teenager, and she didn't bring very much with her when she left. Just a small bag of supplies, and it also said that she tried to go as far as she could with what little money she had. And Mustangs, she kind of is like them because they're also very small cars. They can go a long distance on a little bit of money because in the 1980s, when Albertine's story took place, they had very good miles per gallon, but they were also very small, so if you were to travel in one, you had to pack very light, because they were normally two doors with only two seats on the inside and a small trunk. Albertine also kind of is like the original definition of a Mustang, in that she strayed from home at a very young age to go off and make her own way in life and not be a part of the tribe. Then the red convertible appears in the chapter labeled The Red Convertible, and it's owned by a man named Henry. Convertibles have two different states. The first one is with the top down, and they're exposed to everything around them, and stuff can go in and out of them with ease. And the second state, where the top is up and they are closed off to the world around them and isolated. And in a article written by Brianne Sutton, she said that, quote, throughout the chapter, Erdrich associates the red convertible with Henry's state of mind, end quote, and this is rather true. In the beginning of the chapter, Henry is a open and carefree guy without a worry in the world. He gets this nice little red convertible and drives it around with his brother for an entire summer. They went to so many places that they actually started forgetting everywhere that they had been. It was kind of symbolizing the freedom in his mind and heart. But then as soon as they got back to the reservation, he had to go off to the military and serve for several years. And as soon as he left, the convertible just broke down and stopped working. And Henry's brother Layman spent the entire time Henry was over serving just fixing up the car, trying to get it into working order. And then when Henry got back, he became isolated. He just sat in front of the television and watched it all day. He didn't talk to people or smile or laugh anymore. much like how the convertible was when he got back. It just sat outside without any interaction at all from anyone. No one drove it, no one worked on it, it just sat there. Lehman wanted to get the old Henry back, the joyful one. So Lehman went out and did some damage to the red convertible. And when Henry finally saw what it looked like, he spent his entire time, all of his free time, just working on it, trying to get it to look really nice, like how he remembered it looking. And Lehman thought that him repairing the car would also repair his mind to what it was before he went off to the military. And it kind of seemed like it worked, because as soon as it was done, their younger sister, who was 11 years old at the time, took a picture of the two of them and the freshly fixed car, and Henry was actually smiling in the picture. And then after the picture, he asked Lehman if he wanted to take the car up to the Red River. So then they both go up there, and Henry walks out into the river and gets swept away. Then Lehman decides to push the car in after Henry, because in Lehman's mind, he feels that the two of them are connected because the car seems to always be in the same state that Henry's mind is in, whether it be open and free or broke down and shut off from the world. And the third car is the Firebird, which, when June died, her son King got some insurance money from her death, and he used it to buy a type of car called a Firebird. And in the end, Lipshaw managed to get the Firebird from him in a card game. Now, the term Firebird actually refers to a phoenix, which is an ancient mythological bird that's said to burst into flames when it dies, and then another phoenix is born from the ashes of the first. And it's similar to June because she seems to have been reborn from her death via this car. On page 303, Lipshaw talked to Lulu about his mother, and Lulu said that June never actually tried to sling him into the marsh, and that June wanted to apologize and ask for Lipshaw's forgiveness, or have him forgive her someday. And in a way, he kind of accepts her into his life via the Firebird. In an article written by Susan Farrell, she says that the car belonged to June based on, quote, the novel closes with Lipshaw driving back to the reservation in June's car, the car bought with the insurance money from June's death. But it seems more like he actually feels that the car is June and not just a part of her or belonging to her, because at the very end of the novel it says, I go inside, the morning was clear, a good road lead on, so there was nothing to do but cross the water and bring her home. It doesn't say bring the car home or bring the car that she owns home, but instead just bring her home, like it's a piece of her. And whereas the novel opened with June walking on water to her death, it closes with Lipshaw and the embodiment of June crossing a river via a bridge to return home. This is my works cited page with other literary articles I used, and this is the URLs for all the pictures I used. Thank you for watching.